The Calgary Flames have made a huge signing, and it couldn't have come at a more perfect time. That goes to everyone who watched last night's game. No, the Flames have not signed a player, but rather the bench boss, and it has people talking. Is Ryan Huska the right coach for the future? We're going to get into all that more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And, well, last night means one thing. Usually I'd call this last night's game, and, if you had... I'm so sorry. If you went to this game, if you paid money to go to this game, I'm so sorry. If you watched the entire 60 minutes, I'm also very sorry because the Flames lost 8-1 in a preseason game to the Canucks. And look, a lot of people will say it's preseason, whatever. And you're absolutely right. This doesn't matter at all in the standings. Where it really hurts and bites is that there were a lot of storylines going into this game. It was the duel to see who would be Wolf's backup, and the Flames iced really close to what their NHL lineup would be and lost to the Canucks, who, to be fair, they were playing a decent lineup, not as strong as the Flames is in my opinion, but we still lost 8-1, which, isn't fantastic. And a lot of people said good things. But Eric Francis, he said, embarrassing night for the Flames and their two goalies in an 8-1 preseason loss to the Canucks. Neither backup impressed. I think that's what's key is here. It's still wide open to see who's going to be the backup. Maybe neither of these guys. Prosvetov and Cooley, of course, after that. Parekh was a -4. Didn't look great. Pospisil and Huberdeau both left with injuries, although both skated off on their own, which is good. They probably won't be hurt heading into the regular season, but of course, I'll keep you updated on that. And Coach said he was concerned with the effort. And when Coach is talking about it in a bad way, it's interesting. And I mean... maybe coaching is part of the issue, but anyway, the win column here so one of these guys has to be the Flames backup, and then they showed the stats from last night. So Prosvetov gave up 5 goals on 19 shots, making only 14 saves for the .737 save percentage. Awful. 9.68 goals against average. Terrible. Cooley came in relief, I guess. He was going to go in anyway, but he gave up 3 goals on 7 shots. He almost gave up more goals than saves. He had 3 goals against 4 saves. The .571 save percentage is atrocious. And look, you can't fault both goalies on all of the goals, but you gotta make a save every now and then, and it was just terrible. And it's so... it's disappointing, obviously, because of the Flames lineup. It was a pretty good one, close to what they could potentially play in the regular season. And to just have a showing like this is terrible. But what is the most Calgary Flames thing they could possibly do after such a disappointing loss? Well, it is signing the head coach to a contract extension. I was kind of shocked when I saw this. I mean, no one's surprised that Huska got the extension. It's just the timing was impeccable. That's why this is a perfect signing, because it's just perfect Calgary Flames as an organization timing. You get smoked 8-1 in a game that, you're really showing who the Flames are supposed to be once the regular season hits. And don't get me wrong, again, I know the preseason, it really doesn't matter, whatever. It's so Flames to extend your head coach, a game in which he was coaching. You lost 8-1. It was terrible. Hey, we could get used to this. Here's your contract extension. And of course, the numbers go way deeper than that. Ryan Huska totally deserves this extension. I'm actually pumped about it because looking at the deeper numbers, he's done amazing with the, the roster that he does have. I'm pumped. I'm just, again, it's such perfect timing for the Flames to announce this now. It's honestly hilarious. And look, other people, they were talking about it. So Huska, Pierre LeBrun here says Huska was entering the final year of his contract. That's why it's not a surprise at all that he did sign. So a 2-year extension announced today has him signed through the 2027-28 season. So the first year, of course, that the new arena should be in play for us. And it's just so classic. It's, again, it's just perfect timing. I can't get over that. I should focus more on Huska himself because you know what? He has been great in many ways. So the Calgary Flames signed head coach Ryan Huska to a 2-year contract extension on Thursday, which is today, of course. Here's a quote from Craig. He said, "We're thrilled to extend Ryan for 2 more years," General Manager Craig Conroy said in a statement. "He's done an excellent job creating a strong culture in our room and helping our team take steps in the right direction. His communication, work ethic, and commitment to developing our players has been outstanding. We believe in his vision and are confident he's the right coach to lead us forward." And it's hard to argue against any of that. No, he doesn't have the most, established resume that some coaches do obviously have. No Stanley Cup pedigree. This is the first time he's coached in the NHL, but he's done a great job, honestly. With the roster he's been given, he hasn't done too bad. So Huska's been in the Flames organization since 2014-15 when he started with the club's AHL affiliate. He joined Calgary as an assistant in 2018 and was named head coach in 2023, of course. He's guided the Flames to a 79, 66, and 19 record over 2 seasons behind the bench. So kind of a fake winning percentage. Yes, he's technically lost a few more games than he's won, with a lot of Daryl Sutter points in there. But honestly, again, with the roster he's been given, that ain't too bad of a record. Almost made the playoffs, as it says here. Calgary missed the playoffs in 2024-25 due to a tiebreaker scenario with the Blues. No one saw the Flames, getting 96 points. They must have been well coached. And I really like what Craig said about, establishing just the dressing room vibes in general. It's the Flames have an identity again, and a lot of that can be thanks in part to Huska, of course. So the Flames begin their regular season on October 8th against the Oilers, which is fantastic. And you know what? There actually were a few more things I wanted to show, maybe in the first chapter of this video. And it's kind of how last night means one thing, but of course what fans are thinking, both after, I guess, last night's drubbing and kind of the head coach extension, which in my opinion isn't fair, but my opinion doesn't really matter. It's this. So it's only the preseason, and yet I see you everywhere I look. And for those who don't know, that is of course a picture of Gavin McKenna, the man who was touted to go first overall this year. Another one of those generational players that has been brought up recently. And hey, he's played in Alberta, obviously with Medicine Hat in the WHL. He'd be very comfortable in Calgary. And if the Flames, apparently if that's their regular season lineup, and they play like that, oh baby, we are going to come dead last in the league. So it's so funny that people, everywhere they look, they're just thinking Gavin McKenna. After every loss, but especially every bad loss, that's what they're saying. And some people had some funny things to say too. They said, unless he falls to 32nd, we aren't getting him. A little poke at that. The Flames are, of course, going to win the Cup this year. Someone replied to that saying, don't forget we have the Vegas pick, so we just need him to slip to 30, which would mean Flames Knights Western Conference Finals, sign me up, is what it says at the bottom there. So of course that's what's going to happen. Another person says, no, clearly what will happen is the Flames go deep, and also Vegas finishes bottom 10 and wins the lottery. And of course we would get their pick since it's unprotected, fully unprotected first rounder. But that was a little bit funny. And to continue on that note, another person says, what about next year with Calgary native Landon Dupont? True. If the Flames are going to play like that this year, might as well do it next year too and get Landon Dupont as well, who also looks incredible. Defenseman, offensive guy, looks like one of the best defensemen the juniors have seen in a very long time. And then maybe the funniest comment out of all of this was one guy here said, almost makes me want to start practicing the dark arts again. Almost. Of course, the Flames, the Reddit, they did their dark arts way back in the playoffs in 2022 against the Dallas Stars, trying to, curse Jake Ottinger of the Stars since he was just saving literally everything. And the Flames, of course, still won that series. So, hey, practicing the dark arts may work. And, hey, practice them to ensure that we get Gavin McKenna. Hey, not too bad. One person says, I learned my lesson. I printed the curse and brought it to the Stars game. So, hey, we'll take everything we can get. Yes, it's just a preseason game. It really doesn't matter all that much, but it does make you question. Maybe the Flames aren't all that great. And one thing I'll say as well, since I did watch quite a bit of that game, is Gridden, I think for sure at this point, will now be starting in the AHL. He doesn't require waivers, which is the main reason, but last night, didn't look phenomenal in quite a few facets of the game. He will be an incredible player, do not get me wrong. Just needs a little bit more development, and he will be starting the season with the Wranglers. It's not confirmed, but I'm essentially 100% guaranteeing that at this point. Now let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, as we love to do here on the channel. Comes from yesterday's video, of course. And this was an interesting comment here from Pepe. So Pepe said, if we keep Miro or Bean and lose Cairns, it will be a clear sign that the Flames are more interested in squeaking into the playoffs than building for the future. So going with guys with experience, putting in those vets. In my opinion, so in Pepe's opinion, this is how we are perpetually stuck in the mushy middle. Please, Connie, break the cycle. And it's it's kind of become the majority of the fan base totally agrees with you there. Miro being, we don't really need them at all. They can be the guys put on waivers, and if we lose them, that's okay. We do not want to lose Cairns to waivers. He didn't look terrible last night either. He didn't even get to play too much as he had in other games. No one had a good game for the Flames, to be honest. But either way, totally agree with you there. Losing Cairns would not be a good look for the organization, and especially for Craig. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.